Yeah. This is every bottle of wine we've ever made at Flat Rock. So like, this is the 03 Pinot. First wine ever. I think we only made 30 cases or something like that. And you have Pinots, Rieslings, Chards, and all of our kind of special projects are over here. Like we actually here, there's two bottles, I guess are welcome. There's two bottles of Syrah, 07 and 11. We used to have 1 acre of Syrah,
Yeah.
and this is the only wine that we ever made off that. 2 vintages over, I want to say 03, 2011, we ripped it up in 13. So like over 10 years, we only got 2 vintages out of it. Some original ice wines, sparkling, all kinds of cool stuff. And the reason that we did this is not to have a cool, dusty space where you can look at all the old wine. The reason we did this is because in order to be a great winery or a great wine region, your wines have to have the ability to age and improve with age, develop. So from day one, we thought we had something special with the 03s.
Yeah.
We kept 2 cases, and ever since we have kept 2 cases of all of our wines. And you can see we taste, we check in, and the wines age beautifully. They improve if you like the flavors of the wine. Right?
We'll start you off with, this is probably our flag. This is our flagship. This is our foundation Pinot Noir. It's the parcel right below the building here. It's all estate and Victane, French oak barrels, all that good stuff. 22 vintage, super duper challenging year quantity wise, remarkable year quality wise. So usually I make about 6,000 cases of this wine. In 22 I made 1,800.
Ooh, wow.
So, big. Yeah. So just poured you guys our other Pinot, so you can do a little comparison. This is our 2022 Foundation is what you first tasted. Now it's our 2020 Gravity Pinot Noir.
Yeah.
And this is actually what they are blending for right now. So we don't make a reserve because it's all single vineyard, it's all hand-picked, da 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 da. What we do is we sit down and we taste about 250 barrels of Pinot, 150 barrels of Chard, and we're trying to create 2 stylistically different wines, not a better or worse. This is always a little bit lighter, a little bit fruitier, a little bit more approachable in its youth because it rolls out in bigger volumes. Whereas this one, we always try and keep at least a 1-year gap, ideally a 2-year gap between the 2 because it's the barrels that were maybe tighter, more intense, more tannic, will age longer, but need more time before we pour it for gases kind of thing.
Like this one's very juicy.
Yeah.
And then this one's got a little bit more.
This is needs a little air, needs a little love, but it's really good.
So this is the first and only Gamay that we've ever made. Just want to make sure. And we submitted it to Decanter, not the Wine Awards. We submitted it to the magazine for they were doing a review on Canadian Gamay. And got picked as one of the top 15,
Hey,
which was kind of fun. I'm just going to go a quick sniff first because it's not dated, which drives me bananas.
It's worthy.
It is. So, the reason we have this Explore Gamay, and then we've got an Explore Sauvignon Blanc, it's next to the skin from to there, is because down at the bottom of the vineyard, we've got 15 acres of unplanted land. Used to be Pinot died, replanted with Chard died, trying to figure out what's going to work. And Gamay is really, it's more winter hardy than both of those varieties.
Yeah.
So we're experimenting with, we're letting our winemakers play around, seeing if it matches our barrel portfolio before we go and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars planting it. We want to make sure it fits first. So this is our kind of first go at that. Then in the subsequent year we made a PTG, so we again wanted to see how it would fit. PTG, Pinot blend. Like it. We're now experimenting with some Cab Franc, also nice and winter hardy. And that's the coldest part of the vineyard in the winter, which is why nothing survived, but warmest part of the vineyard in the summer, so we might get some really rich, nice, not green Cab Franc. So we're just playing around. The Pinot is us. It's our baby, but the Gamay is delicious, and the labels tell a cool story. We call this our monolith series, so you'll see a bunch of them around. but they always ask a question
Okay.
and then answer the question, and the word on the front is kind of the synopsis of that whole. So it's basically, we've got unplanted land, what do? We explore. So, shards. Exact same thing. I do have an unoaked shard as well. We just bottled it a couple of weeks ago. Need some time. So I'm going to taste you through the other two for now. And
Same.
exact same setup as that. Yeah.
I like the idea of focusing on these two, right? And both of the Pinots and the shards, and then branching off, like just a couple of other experimental ones or whatever to show where things could be going. I think that's a good storyline for it. Makes sense?
Yep.
So exact same idea, slight vintage difference. So the Foundation Chardonnay, the first one I poured you, is 21 instead of 22 for Pinot, but the Capstone series, the white label, is they're both 20s. Both barrel fermented, both barrel aged, both again single vineyard, and it's that barrel selection. So we're looking for something a little bit cleaner, lighter. Cleaner as in not heavily oaked, it just smells fruity and delicious, whereas this is your richer, more unctuous, more full palated Chardonnay. So this was actually at last, so decanter, you guys, you know, world's largest, most reputable wine competition. The new awards come up in June, which I'm super excited about. Last year, this was Canada's highest scoring wine, 95 points. The year before, our Rogers Vineyard Riesling was Canada's highest scoring wine and best in show, top 50 wines in the competition. So I'm hoping this year it's a Pinot so we can have all of our varieties. But, right? And then it's like, okay, we're doing something. So yeah, so those are the two shards.
Yeah, it's interesting, but yes, this one will wow people for
I'll
sure.
be first to say I'm not usually big on oak on my whites that much, and I've been slowly getting more into them, and I really enjoy that one.
So it's only, I'm gonna get the decimal wrong, but it's like 17 point something% new oak. The rest of it's neutral.
Okay.
So it's rich, and a lot of that actually comes from the vintage because most of the barrels are neutral. You're just getting a little bit of that toasty, buttery, caramelly kind of thing. But
For the moment.
oh, alright, so I'm gonna have this one first. So this is again.
Which one did you pour that one in? Just
So
This one's backwards.
it is backwards just because of residual sugar. I
Gotcha.
won't go from my driest to my sweetest. Also why we taste our reds before we swing into our whites. Pinots and Chards are made by the winemaker. It's the blend, right? The vineyard is the vineyard, we know we have a great saying, but it's that blending of barrels to balance the acetate, the oak, the sugar, blah, 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 blah. The Rieslings, we do nothing. The Rieslings are completely site specific. So Nodger's Vineyard is the little parcel just on the right side of the driveway. 2.2 acres, highest point in our vineyard, last pick of the year, every year. The Foundation Riesling, just to the left of the rusty shed down there, that tin box, kind of the parcel down there. So, from the top of our vineyard to the bottom, it's 100 feet in elevation. Doesn't look like it, but I could build a 10-story building down there, and we'd be looking over. So we have some serious slope from the escarpment. The further from the lake you are, the higher you get. Temperatures change. Also, in the winter, every time the snow melts or every time it rains, all the topsoil, all the organic matter and whatnot flows down the slope. So at the top, like all this limestone, we didn't put that there. That's just there. And at the top here, you know, we're talking 6 to 18 inches of topsoil before the roots are even that. And you really taste it shines through. Whereas down there, you're like, ooh, 5 meters worth of rich organic deep black soil before the roots hit that limestone. So that tends to be a little sweeter, a little plusher, a little more mouthfeel, and this is that like German, acidic, fresh, crisp, dry. So, yeah, we actually originally intended to blend the two parcels together just the same way we do these. The Pinot and Birds. But it tasted, the sum was not better than, the parts were not greater than the sum. Or were greater than the sum, so we kept them apart.
Sometimes nature does it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So twisted, yellow label, pink label, red label, and this purple label. It's our like big consumer line.
Yep.
Twisted's the best selling QA wine in vintages. But the sparkling, we do a small release deal because it's new. We did it to sell it for 20 years. We do a small release, I think like 90 cases or something, and the rest is here. Charmat, mainly Riesling, Chardonnay, Gewurz.